Eyewitness News. This is breaking news.
The National Weather Service has predicted a continued red flag weather event with strong winds and low humidities, placing all residents of Los Angeles County in danger.
Breaking news here at noon, a stark warning from officials in Los Angeles as several major wildfires continue to burn across the Southland amid historic high winds, and there's no sight of it letting up anytime soon. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kyle Betts. We begin here at noon with the latest on those raging wildfires just to the south of us. One of those wildfires even turning deadly. Here's the latest here at noon. The Palisades fire, the first to break out yesterday morning in Los Angeles, has now burned nearly 3,000 acres so far with no containment. Over 1,000 structures have been destroyed so far, and while no deaths have been reported in this fire, the fire chief of Los Angeles County says there was a high number of significant injuries to residents who refused to evacuate. And near the city of Pasadena, the Eaton fire has charged over 2,200 acres with zero containment as well, this one taking a deadly turn overnight. At least 2 people have been killed amid the flames. Several injuries have also been reported. Over 100 structures were damaged. Residents in the area being urged to leave now. And to the northwest of there, near Sylmar, that's in the San Fernando Valley, the Hearst fire has consumed around 500 acres. No containment on this one either. Over 40,000 people are under evacuation orders. And just a few miles to the south of there, the Woodley fire, a much smaller fire, has burned about 30 acres with no containment there. And all those fires fueled by historic high winds overnight, the situation for firefighters only worsening. Mary Bell Gonzalez is on the ground in the Pacific Palisades, bringing us the latest.
There are now 4 active fires in Los Angeles County and 2 people confirmed dead in one of those fires. The intense winds are only further concerning for fire officials as they're on the ground working around the clock trying to combat these blazes.
There were flames on either side of us. The car was very quickly getting smoky. We had wet towels over our faces.
In Southern California, a fight against flames fueled by unusually high winds. 4 life-threatening wildfires are burning across Los Angeles County, forcing tens of thousands to evacuate from their homes. In the Pacific Palisades, a neighborhood in Los Angeles, residents abandoned vehicles and ran for safety when traffic crawled to a stop.
When we got in the car to go, and then all the cars were abandoned, so I had nowhere to go, so I just had to get out of my car and start walking. The smoke is so bad.
To the east, the Eaton fire burning in Pasadena forced a senior center to evacuate its elderly residents.
It's tough. They can't get up. They're stuck on the wheelchairs. We got to lift them up, put them in the vans.
And north of San Fernando, the Hearst fire broke out late Tuesday night, and like the other 2, is spreading rapidly. The fires are growing so fast, first responders are having a hard time attacking the flames.
Having 3 big fires at once in a situation where we can't even use aircraft to dump water on the fires is unprecedented. It is an absolutely unnerving and terrifying situation to be in.
Now we know that none of these 4 fires have been contained. And here in the Palisades fire, we know that there's been around 1,000 structures that have been damaged by the fire. We will, of course, continue to update you as we are waiting to hear from officials about further damage in other areas. Reporting in the Pacific Palisades, I'm Mary Bell Gonzalez.
Just a short time ago, President Biden was in Santa Monica where he received a briefing of the wildfires in SoCal, and he was joined by Governor Gavin Newsom. The president issuing a major disaster declaration that is providing federal resources.
We're prepared to do anything and everything as long as it takes to contain these fires and to help reconstruct and make sure that we get back to normal. It's going to be a hell of a long way. It's going to take time. We're in it. The federal government is here to stay as long as you need us and everything you need.
Well, Governor Newsom issued a state of emergency last night for additional resources to be sent to help with fighting those wildfires. And help from Kern County has made its way to Los Angeles to get a handle on those fires. According to Kern County Fire Department, over 100 local crews being sent to help out. That includes 4 strike teams, Kern County Fire stresses that there are still enough crews to assist local calls if needed here at home. And this is what the Palisades and Eaton fires look like from space. Now, this is time-lapse satellite video capturing the growth of those fires. The glow in the middle of your screen is the Palisades fire. You can also see how much smoke the fires are producing. Now, right now, the air quality in Southern California is at dangerous levels. And our own Aaron Perlman has been tracking the storm all morning long, and as we go into the afternoon hours, the wind's still the big concern.
Yeah, so now it's at this 12 o'clock time. We were talking about this morning. This is when winds are going to start to decline. Finally, that's the good news. Here in Kern County, we're out of those advisories. We'll look at that other one here in just a moment. But the reality here is this high wind warning still going through 6 p.m. that hasn't changed. When this is done, when the winds are over by 6 o'clock, dry air is going to sit on top of this, and this is going to be a big concern. But let's look at the strong wind speeds. We'll go over near Santa Clarita, that's the Hearst fire, and the winds in the yellow here, about 20, 25 mile per hour wind speeds. These are the sustained wind. These are everything you're looking at, sustained winds, okay? Now, that's there. Go over towards Pacific Palisades, where it's just incredible. The pink, 45 mile per hour winds or higher, and likely the higher sustained winds. That's what's been constant since overnight. And then you get over towards Pasadena, where things are actually quieting up near Pasadena into Glendora, but the winds coming off the mountain, that's the Santa Anas, that's not the case. And that's blowing into these neighborhoods that are affecting so many people to evacuate. So that's a big issue there. The misconception sometimes is the thing that the flames from a mountainside can't reach somewhere else a mile away. The burning embers absolutely can, so people tend to forget that. What you'll see, though, from that map, by 6 o'clock, the winds really begin to die down everywhere. Now, coming up in a few more minutes, I'm going to break down exactly what this means going on and if there's any more winds on the way. Kyle?
All right, thanks so much for that, Aaron. Continuing our coverage of those wildfires now, many in our newsroom, and I'm sure you at home have some loved ones who live in the Los Angeles area and are dealing with the effects of the fires and high winds. One of those people directly impacted our very own Stacy Rasmussen's father. He lives in the Pasadena area and has been told to evacuate. Rich Rasmussen joins us now, and Rich, thanks so much for finding the time to join us during this very serious and I'm sure stressful time.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle. Happy to be here. Yep.
Absolutely. Let's get into it here. Are you safe now, and did you evacuate?
Yeah, we got notice around 6:37 last night that we needed to evacuate, so we did have relatives here maybe 20, 25 minutes south of us. So, yeah, we evacuated. We're safe. They just let me back in to check on the house, so it looks like the house is safe thus far as well.
That's great news. How did that update on your house work? How were you contacted when it came to that?
Yeah, so we got an emergency notification to leave, and they don't tell you if you need to be out in 2 minutes or an hour. And so we kind of gathered stuff together, and that's how it went. Now, coming back has been tricky because most of the roads here are blocked off. And so there was no kind of green light, come back. I just found my way back, check on my neighbors. Run the sprinklers on the lawn and grab a couple of things. So that's how I made it back here today. Side streets.
Yeah, it's great to hear that your home is safe and you are safe as well. Now, I know that Stacy earlier during our morning shows, she was saying how she learned that someone on your street, their house burned down. So what is the town around you looking like right now and your street as well?
Yes. There's a main street, Washington Boulevard, that's east-west here. It dissects Altadena and northeast Pasadena. North of Washington, it's real devastation. It's really, really sad to see. South of that, we're 2 blocks south. We have houses that have burned down, a block north, a block east, a block south. And it's just as Aaron just mentioned, embers that have found their way down, hit somebody's house, and it caught fire. So it's been kind of spotty down in our neighborhood, and farther north, it's much, much worse.
Absolutely. And how are the winds right now? I know that Aaron is curious to know how things are looking down there.
Yeah, thankfully, he's right. The winds in Pasadena have calmed down. They kind of middle of the night started to wind down, And that's made a huge difference as far as, the expectations around here that people are starting to feel that maybe we've seen the worst of it. So.
Right. Yeah, those winds a big concern. Do you know of anyone else by chance who has lost their home?
Yes. Yeah. I know of at least 8 people
Wow.
that have lost their home up kind of north of us. And others who have tried to find out and don't know have not been able to make it back to their neighborhoods. So I think we're going to find that there's been a significant number of lost homes. Unfortunately, it's a sad day. We need to pray for those who are hurting. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Very devastating. And Rich, have you ever experienced anything like this? I know that, in Southern California, there are always, it's seemingly wildfires every year, but this seems next level.
Yeah, it is. I remember about 10 years ago, we had a significant windstorm here. There were electricity was knocked out for about 3 or 4 days. These winds were much, much worse. And then you add to that the fire on top of it. I've never seen anything like this. No. And I've been around a while.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much,
Yeah.
Rich. Great to hear that you're safe, you're home as well. And we hope that everything remains okay with you and your family.
Great. No, I appreciate it. Thanks so much. Wish you well.
Thanks for the time.